Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the compassionate, and all the peace and blessing be upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam and his immaculate progeny. Respected mu'mineen and mu'minat, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, we want to talk about the fundamentals of religion, the essence of faith, Usul al-Deen. Why is it, specifically, we want to answer the question, why is it incumbent upon everyone, and underline everyone, humanity at large, to learn about the essence of faith, Usul al-Din. Regardless of your background, your ethnicity, where you're coming from whatever walk of life you come from, regardless of your language, as long as you have an intellect, as long as you can reason, then it's incumbent upon you, it's necessary upon you to verify and have a clear vision and understanding about the essence of faith. Now, before we go into that, I want to highlight, even in the school of thought of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu wassalam, our supreme maraja ulama, they tell us that. They tell us that very well in the books of ruling, Masa'il al-Islamiyya. You find that in the very first chapter that speaks about Ahkam al-Taqlid. Here, for example, I'll give you a sample. You would find that in the book of ruling of the marja' that you follow, which should allude to this meaning. يجب أن يكون اعتقاد المسلم. It's mandatory, it's incumbent upon the belief of a Muslim in usul al-din, بأصول الدين, in the essence of faith, عن دليل وبرهان. You have to have the proof for it. You have to have the rational argument for it. So this hukum, this ruling that we're talking about, is obligatory by reason. That's why everyone is invited to. Now, before we answer this question, I want to try to highlight, if you will, and examine, clarify the word usul al-din, especially for those perhaps which are, let's say, non-Muslims. If you want to know what's usul al-din, you need to look at what lies on the very helm of this term, and that is the existence of a supreme creator, the existence of Allah Azza wa Jal, and whatever implies to this belief, whatever connects and relates to this belief. For example, Sifatullah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because He's the creator. Here's an example, because He's the creator, right? He created everything. So He cannot be confined and subject to His creation. One of His creation is space and time. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is beyond space and time. That means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is non-physical. He's a supreme creator that created this universe with much sophistication, with fine decision and fine-tuned precision, if you will. لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون. Right? Sun cannot clash with the moon. Rather, every one of these entities is gliding in a precise orbit. Right? They cannot clash and cannot interfere with night. It's a fine-tuned universe, right? It's a customized universe. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala purposely gave me 2 eyes instead of 1, 2 hands instead of 3, for example, and customization calls for purpose. So me as a creation, I would ask my creator, what is my purpose in life? Why am I here? Right? Now, by secondary extension, I start talking to myself, did this creator send someone to communicate this purpose or not? Okay, these people who He sent, if they cease to exist, did He send disciples? Did He send people to guide us afterwards? What about what happens after this life? Those people who committed misfortune, who caused bloodshed in this life, would they have an equal, let's call it destiny, an equal consequence to the people who led a life of moral and akhlaq, for example? Right? Is that fair? Right? Or is there a day after, or is there a life after this realm? What I'm trying to explain to you here, that Usul al-Deen is much connected to the existential matters. Usul al-Deen in Islam are the universal vision, the cosmic vision of one person. And you have to have a clear cosmic vision. Okay? And usually, and I'll end with this inshallah, and I want you to stay tuned and scroll down to the second episode so we can continue this and, if you will, examine the broader answer here. Usually, existential matters are proven and are established using customary reasoning. So, whoever has an intellect should learn about Usul al-Din. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin.